When asked if they had ever heard of KSSU 1580 AM, Sac State's only student-run radio station, most students answered,
No.
Hey, good evening, Sacramento State listeners, faculty, and staff all across the broad expanse of this 3,000 milliwatt flamethrower over radio signal. This is the Raz Radio program on the air at 5 after the hour, 7 o'clock at 7:05 on KSSU 1580 AM.
KSSU 1580 AM essentially is the only student-run radio station, even though it's limited on air power. It's 3 watts, or as we like to refer to as 3,000 milliwatts of power, raw power.
KSSU to me is like one of the only true outlets for the student voice on the Sac State campus. It allows like students to express their ideas, their beliefs on like, you know, a potentially large level, but you know, we only have 3 watts, so it's not that large.
Basically, students come in, they have an opportunity to volunteer, learn about the broadcasting industry, learn about radio, but right now we're only operating at 3 watts. So basically right now we're just a glorified DJ service.
KSSU 1580 AM, if you want to call in, request a song, numbers 278-3666, and for short, for those of you on campus, it's 83666. So call and request a song, and you'll definitely get what you want to hear. So let's get to the song.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I hope you're getting ready, girl, and don't forget
So the programming can range. We have different genres. We have alt indie, we have world music, we have hip hop, R&B. We have electronica. We have sports programming.
Oh, we'll get the handoff. He'll go through the right side. He loses the ball. The ball is on the floor.
We have rock shows, and then that's just that's the things we itemize. Then there's the gamut. Some people don't even prefer to do that. They just do pure political talk.
John Kerry is apparently crying sour grapes over the election still. You know, what can you say about that guy?
Some people prefer to play obscure music that nobody's ever heard.
That's the thing, the programming on KSSU is as diverse as like the student body.
It's a little bit different. We have a lot of different mixes because it's a free format radio station, so we play all sorts of music on our station.
Well, this is my 3rd semester, so I've been a year and a half pretty much, and it's been an interesting ride. An interesting ride that having to deal with all the politics, all the bureaucracy of why students don't have more than, why can't students get past 3 watts? And so so it's almost like I ask myself, what's holding us back? What set up the situation? What's going to happen next? So it's like 3 watts.
Now the problem is there are no other frequencies available in Sacramento. They're gone. The FCC is they're not licensing anymore. I've looked into how do you boost a 3-watt light bulb to a 3-way with 150 watts. That's not possible either, at least from what I understand. That doesn't leave much options.
My understanding of the license situation is that, well, we don't have one. That's basically it. We're trying to get one because what we're broadcasting at right now, you can't even hear us in the parking lot for a lot of school. You can't hear us in all the dorms. You know, you have, like, Capital Public Radio has 50,000 watts, and they're operating on Sac State's campus. We have 3 watts. So when you compare that, you can tell that, we're operating at a very minimal level of what we should have.
This is something that I inherited when I got here. Years ago, Capital Public Radio was begun by the faculty and some students, and over time, that was given up. So the license now is held by basically an independent auxiliary corporation that, in essence, I don't have any control over. The way it's set up, I get to appoint 3 people to the board, and one of them was Rafael Chavez, who was appointed by Donna Girth.
After sitting on the board for Capital Public Radio, I realized that their main interest is money and not students.
Capital Public Radio is an entity that everybody on this campus has reason to be proud of. It's part of the mission of this university. As president, I worked very hard to make sure that it was part of the mission of the university, because I do think that public service is part of what we do in the California State University. And so on what we do with providing a realistic and accurate and in-depth coverage of important news. I think that what those stations accomplish in terms of the public service to the people of this region is just extraordinary.
But the situation is this, and it's very, very much mentioned by the different leadership, the leadership there of Capital Public Radio, that students will never engage the air because of fiduciary reasons.
In the June 10, 2004 issue of the Sacramento News and Review, writer Cosmo Garvin quotes Capital Public Radio board chairwoman Julia Jeunesse in his article Radio Control. She says, with a budget of over $5 million, it wouldn't be responsible. General Manager Mike Lazar said, it would be like letting student interns anchor Channel 3. Or, as Garvin suggested, it might be something like KCSN, the public radio station licensed to California State University Northridge. Students there consistently have won awards from mainstream journalism organizations right alongside professional reporters for KQED and National Public Radio.
I guess a year or so ago, there was one radio station, or maybe 18 months ago, there was one frequency that came up that was available. Apparently everyone was asleep at the wheel except the Black Chamber of Commerce. They bought it. Now, over the last couple of months, I've been working with them to get our students engaged in that process of trying to work with them, and they have agreed that they would welcome the students and would actually give the students airtime.
That's why this contract negotiation with KDEE might actually turn out to be something good for the students and good for both parties in addition to the university. Capital Public Radio has turned their back on us, you know, for better or worse. That's just what they do. They do have internships just like other radio stations, Quad, KTKZ, KHTK. All of the radio stations have internships.
We're not looking for just internships, you know. A lot of DJs here already have internships. We can go to any of the commercial radio stations and get an internship. You aren't paid when you go to them, but you know, it's the opportunity, it's the ability to get out there, network, meet people, get your skills sharpened, you know, and you can already do that. So it's not like they're providing us with an opportunity that we don't already have. It's we have the ability to already do this. So yes, we have a little bit of airtime, but I think right now it's just a Band-Aid. It's not a solution.
So we came up with the KSSU Experience. The KSSU Experience pretty much basically sets up our studios. We still know we have 3 watts, but it sets up our studios to become not an on-air studio, but more of a opportunity to experiment studio where you can actually develop programming not only for dissemination of our 3 watts, but you can actually have MP3 files transmitted to other schools, so they can broadcast on their radio frequencies, on their internet sites. You can send a CD. So essentially we're imitating what the music industry does. They send us a lot of music, so we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to send out a lot of programs. We're going to try to, syndication has money tied to it, but think about it, syndication of our programs without any money tied to it. So we're going to syndicate all their shows. Hopefully we can get in all the universities, because they got to broadcast. All the universities who do have broadcasting, free-form radio, student-run radio, they need to fill in their time slots. Some of them don't need our show programming, but I'm telling the students, if you have this great program, trust me, some people will play it during their show hour to fulfill their time requirements. So that's essentially what we're doing. We're going to become a small flagship in the college syndication world.
Why do you DJ? Why do you broadcast? Why do students put all their time into shows? They're doing it because they want to be heard.
We're trying to get the ASI, the student government, to support us with the idea of possibly looking for a window of opportunity to apply for a license. If there's not a license to be applied for, looking for the opportunity to maybe possibly lease a station with a lengthy contract, meaning a 2 or 3 year contract. Lease an AM station because it's cheaper than an FM station.
It's just going to take time, and as much as you may think that we're not listening, we are. It's just very, very difficult to do when you have all these constraints.
Stay tuned. Thanks for listening. Have a pleasant evening, and good night.
All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is KSSU 1580 AM, Sac State's only student-run radio station. I'm Greg Young. He's Dan Jardine.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How you doing today?
I'm kind of tired.
I'm actually feeling good today, man. I'm
Really?
up. I'm awake. Got some sleep for once.
Are you serious?
I had a pretty decent weekend. The Niners suck. Other than that, that's about the only negative in my life.